Up next on the Day Beer Review, we're going to be looking at two Schulmans walk into a brewery. This is an Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels coming in at 10% ABV, and it's by Sarene Craft Beer, and it's in collaboration with Central Brewing Company. Up next on the Day Beer Review, check it out. Hi everybody, it's Rich, and welcome to the Day Beer Review, and today we are looking at two Schulmans walk into a brewery. This is an Imperial Stout aged in bourbon barrels. It's coming in at 10% ABV, although it does not say it on the can. I had to look it up. And this is by Sarene Craft Brewing Company, or Craft Beer, sorry. And it is in collaboration with Central Waters Brewery. So we've had some Central Waters Brewery stuff here before. Now, I would have liked to have known what bourbon barrels it had been aged in. I would have liked to have known how long it was aged, but it doesn't say any of that on the can. So let's see what we got. I have a stout glass here. You know, I was going to use a stem glass. Maybe I should. This is an Imperial Stout. Do I have one here? I do. It's not the best one, but you know what? Yeah, let's use this. Let me just quick rinse. And the joy of YouTube, folks. It's not always the most practiced medium you're gonna find, but at least try to keep it as genuine as you can. All right, a little bit of clean up there, very nice. All right, now I am using a stem glass. Let's give it a pour. You know, pours a chestnut brown, not super dark. In fact, I would expect it to be darker for an Imperial Stout. Not a tremendous amount of head, even though I poured that one like a savage. Maybe half, maybe a pinky of head. I'll tell you this, the bourbon barrel comes through right on top. There's that sweetness, there's that sort of like charred barrel. Now, I have no idea what bourbon they aged this, you know, what barrel they used. But definitely sweet. Little bit of that smokiness there of the barrel. So it's a nice nose, if a little bit basic. And what I mean by basic is like, this is like smelling any other bourbon barrel aged stout. You're getting the barrel, you're getting some of that oaky char, you're getting some chocolate there, and that sweetness that I always equate to vanilla, but doesn't necessarily have to be vanilla. So let's see what the nose is like. I'm sorry. Let's see what what it tastes like. Oh, I have to say that's a little disappointing. So there's a bitterness, almost like a burnt coffee bitterness to it. And the bourbon barrel, which is really nicely represented in the nose, just falls apart on the back of the palate. No, it's all bitter. The sweetness is not there. The burn of the alcohol is really obvious from about here down. Yeah, this is not a beer that I really see myself drinking any more of. The nose is really the thing that annoys me, because the nose is lovely, sweet, robust. It smells like it's taken in all of that sort of goodness from the bourbon barrel, but instead all I'm getting is sort of like a generic bitterness, a burn from the alcohol, and just sort of a very weak sort of char note on the back end. I'm gonna take one more sip. Now, this is the thing that annoys me. I'm pretty sure I paid about $7 for this can at Fast Time Beverage. I think this was in Poughkeepsie. And I have to tell you, I feel utterly ripped off. It's not a good beer, in my opinion. And I want to make that clear. There are some people who maybe you're not looking for the sort of the depth of flavor or burn that goes with a good bourbon barrel beer. But I have to say, like, this one just doesn't deliver on anything. The nose is good. The nose is really good. But that makes it even more annoying because the nose is so good that when you drink the beer, you're sort of so aware of the lack of flavor of here. So, you know, like, would I buy 2 Schulmans, walk into a brewery again? No, I would not. In fact, I have to be honest with you, this is gonna be one of those beers that I do not finish. This is probably gonna be a dumper. Anyway, folks, I'm gonna go find another beer and kick back and enjoy that. I hope you enjoyed the review, and I hope you, listen, I will never tell you not to buy a beer. I will only tell you how I feel about the beer itself. This does not hit my flavor profile for a bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stout. To me, it tastes sort of rushed. It tastes like it did not have time for the bourbon barrel to really like infuse into the beer itself. And because of that, you're left with sort of a lackluster you know, flavor profile. And the thing is, you know, like, I may well be jaded, and I want to make that clear. Like, it may be me. I have tried so many bourbon barrel aged stouts at this point that, you know, like, I use a good year of Bourbon County as my sort of like base level, like a 2018, no, 2018 was very good. Like, let's say a 2020 Bourbon County, which is good but not great, is sort of like my base level for a bourbon barrel stout. To me, this doesn't measure up even to that. It just comes off as being sort of just a little too basic, a little too underdeveloped. And I feel like this could probably have been really phenomenal had it been aged longer, or had the bourbon barrels that the brewer used been of a better quality bourbon. You know, the whole thing right now tastes a little young to me, and that's not exactly what I'm looking for. All right. Anyway, folks, I hope you've enjoyed the review. And this was, once again, 2 Schulmans walk into a brewery. Not one I would pick up again. And it is by Sarene Craft Brewery and Central Waters Brewing Company. I'm going to probably dump this one, to be honest. Go grab another one and check that one out. Anyway, folks, have a good night. I'll see you next time on End of the Day Beer Review. Cheers.